and I'll be presenting Luke 5:17 through 24. On one of those days, as he was teaching, Pharisees and teachers of the law were sitting there, who had come from every village of Galilee and Judea and from Jerusalem. And the powers of the Lord were with him to heal. And behold, some men were bringing on a bed a man who was paralyzed. And they were seeking to bring him in before Jesus. But finding no way to bring him in, they went on the roof and let him down with his bed through the tiles into the midst before Jesus. And seeing their faith, he said, Man, your sins are forgiven you. And the scribes began saying, Who is this who speaks blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God alone? And Jesus perceived their thoughts, saying, Why do you question in your hearts? Which is easier to say, Your sins are forgiven you, or rise and walk? So that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. And Jesus said to the man who was paralyzed, I say to you, rise, pick up your bed, and go home.
Hello, my name is Campbell, and I'm presenting verse 3, 8 through 17. Finally, all of you have unity of mind, sympathy, brotherly love, a tender heart, and a humble mind. Do not repay evil for evil, or reviling for reviling, but on the contrary, less. For to this you were called, that you may obtain a blessing. Whoever desires to love life and see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit. Let him turn away from evil and do good. Let him seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayer. The face of the Lord is against those who do evil. Now who is there to harm you if you are zealous for what is good? Even if you should suffer for righteousness' sake, you will be blessed. Have no fear of them, nor be troubled. Let in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy. Always be prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. Yet do it with gentleness and respect. Having a good conscience, that in this manner those who revile your good behaviors in Christ may be put to shame. For it is better to suffer for doing good, if that should be God's will, than for doing evil. Thank you for listening to my presentation.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Milton, and I will be presenting an excerpt from The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. True, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous I have been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? Disease has sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing of you. I heard all things in the heavens and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken, observe how helpfully, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. It is impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. Object, there was none. Passion, there was none. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me insult. For his gold I had no desire. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. One of his eyes resembled that of a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so, by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now you fancy me mad. Mad men know nothing, but you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I killed him. Every day, about midnight, turned the latch of his door and opened it, oh so gently. And then, when I had made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in a dark lantern, all closed, so that no light shone out, and thrust in my head. Oh, you would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. I moved it slowly, very, very slowly, so I might not disturb the old man's sleep. It took me an hour to place my whole head so far from the door that I could see him as he lay upon his bed. Ah, what a madman evangelize is this? And then, when my head was well through the door, I undid the lantern cautiously. Oh, so cautiously. Cautiously for the hinges straight. I undid it just so much that a single thin ray fell upon the vulture eye. And this I did for 7 long nights, every night, about midnight. But I found the eye was closed, so it was impossible to do this work. It was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. And every morning, when the day broke, I walked boldly into the chamber and spoke graciously to him, calling him by name in a hearty tone and inquiring how he had passed the night. So you see, he would have been a very profound old man indeed to suspect that every night, just about midnight, I looked in upon him as he slept. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. I watched his minute hand move more quickly than did mine. Never before that night had I felt the extent of my own powers, of my sagacity. But I could scarcely contain my feelings of triumph to think that I was there, opened the door, little by little, and he, not even in the dream of my secret deeds or thoughts. I fairly chuckled at the idea, and perhaps he heard me, for he moved suddenly on the bed as if startled. And you may think I drew back, but no, he could not see me. His room was black as pitch with a thick darkness. Its shutters were closed fastened through the fear of robbers. So I kept pushing the opening of the door on steadily. I had my head in and was about to undo the lantern when my thumb slipped upon the tin fastening. The old man sprang up in bed, crying out, "Who's there?" Thank you for listening to my excerpt from